My name is Rhapsody. Welcome back to Monster Train. Monster Divinity. Alright, let's go. Let's go. I'll cycle back to Spine Sheath. Turn that down a little bit on my side. Perfect. Alright, let's have a good run here. We've got 2 copies of Echo Transfer in the base deck, so we have really good damage scaling already off the base. Single Soul Siphon as well as 2 Glimmers. We got Seraph the Diligent consuming our spells. Alright, Dark Forge. Decayer or Infector? Do I want to Inspire to apply Reap to enemy units, or would I prefer to go for the Infector and Strike to Gain? Strike to Gain is going to give us the ability more easily to play out the Echo Transfers. Also, it's a very good target for the Echo Transfers as a result of it getting multi-strike per level of upgrade in Infector. We also have AoE kind of on lock already with the Glimmers. Spine Chief. Infector. So we looked specifically at the Divine Hoard before the Hersel's Hoard, because this one has 3 artifacts, this one has 2. So this might actually decide which I take in the other set instead. Echo Seedling. First time each battle a card with Consumer's Blade, add 2 copies to hand. There's also the Refracting Lenses. When a card with Consumer's Blade, restore 5 Pyre health, and finally the Boons of the Blacksmith. We currently have 1 Consume card in the deck, but we're not unlikely to get more. Take the Refracting Lens. The first Hell Pact. X costs get 3 to their X value when played. We haven't got any X costs, but I'll happily take a few. Woken Rail Spike coming in with both of these already. Please, please, please. Alright, unit draft. I should also really quickly have a consideration about the upcoming future. So there's a Divine Temple here. We're about to go for a unit draft, so we might have the opportunity to go to a Merchant of Steel, a Wurmkin Banner, and then carry into the next area a unit from this unit draft that we want to socket into maybe the Wurmkin Banner, or maybe the inverse, whatever, the one we're not socketing. The one that we are not sacrificing is going to get the upgrades, and then we get the merger of them here, and then I can even dupe that unit. So if it's a... I mean, Spine Sheath doesn't necessarily have to be on the same floor as the rest of it. I'm not really likely to kill these enemies at all, so I think what I want to do is Spine Sheath and just Train Steward, Reap out there. Well, the Train Steward here. Because I'm not likely to kill them, what I'm really going to want to do is play on the bottom line, so that I hit the boss as quickly as possible, and then just have the Spine Chief kind of clear them up, if possible. Slay, gain, damage shield. So the Train Steward definitely can't live through this turn, which means that what we want to focus on instead is damage to the enemies. I'll hit this restore here, but it doesn't matter. It's literally just to get the extra tree of Reap off there. Okay, Echo Transfer 100% of the time. I mean, I'm not getting that top floor to below 20 HP. That's just not happening. Oh, with this one, maybe we keep you below 20. I would like another Echo Transfer, please. Didn't find the extra Echo Transfer. Not going to get kill on bottom line either. That's really unfortunate. Also, the Trusted Priest. No, I'm going to play you there just so that the Apprentice doesn't go to the top floor with full HP. Disciple Foot Soldier in the back line, just being able to go through all this entire rigmarole here is not good for us. I mean, buffing my own unit doesn't even help us here. Unfortunately, we can't get chains below 40. So we take a lot of damage there. Thankfully, we do have consume cards. Or a consume card, rather. We're likely to try and pick up consume cards literally just to heal at this point with Refracting Lens. Bounding Echoes versus Echo Snare versus Soul Cripple. Bounding Echoes giving Infuse to a bunch of other cards in hand is really good, especially if it happens to hit the Echo transfers, make them a lot more playable. This, however, this is already infused. No, I still think I prefer Bounding Echoes here. Wildwood Sap to infuse and consume. There's also a Restoration, Detonation, and a Sharpen. We are going to have to think about how we're going to support the HP of our frontliners. What are we just going to mega upgrade Glimmers and just play them every other turn? Are we going to give them regen? Are we going to give them spikes? I can see Restoration, Detonation here. I could see Wildwood Sap as well, actually. It really depends on what we find in the units. Speaking of, Animus of Speed has Quick, and it gives Quick to the unit it goes on. Of course it does. That makes sense. Shard Soul Carver here has Inspire to gain +2 armor and armor 2. We saw that in the last episode. Bog Chrysalis infuses for, or is infused, has Shell 5, and the Bogflies hatch out of it. This would be a good unit to put behind the Spine Chief in a Relentless phase, because the Spine Chief is constantly striking and gaining charged echoes, which means the Bogflies behind are getting more powerful. Unfortunately, outside of that phase, it's thoroughly okay. Shard Soul Carver. Okay. We'll take it. And then I'm going here. And I'm looking for the Animus of Will. There's a multi-strike. Didn't find the Animus of Will. Ooh. This is difficult. We're deciding our run right now. +3, +10, and Slay 3 from that Shattered Shell. It has Sweep. It has Sweep. We only want one unit to slay if we're going for slays. Right, because then it gets as much out of it as possible. It does have access to multi-strike already. It doesn't really want the Shard Soul Carver, though. Nor does the Shard Soul Carver want to go into it. Don't get me wrong, it'd be fine with it, but it doesn't want it as much, you know? There's another Awoken down here, and then a Divine Temple the space after. This could even be a unit draft. I think we'll just go into the next fight. Non-boss enemies enter with spikes 3. I actually can't take this one, because if I do, I'll kill my own Shattered Shell, and then I'm definitely taking enough higher damage to lose. So, 75 gold in order to die? I don't know. It doesn't seem like value to me, you know? Just doesn't seem like value. You're an incant trigger, eh? Am I fine with less energy next turn? Yep. We'll bound some echoes up there. Unfortunately, that fracture is the only way to get that kill out. Guess I should just pop down the Shard Soul Carver and probably even Echo Infuse it. Just treat it like a stat stick for a moment here. Okay, now we can finally extract on the back line. I feel a lot better about that now. Actually, I guess I'll just kill both of those. Get a heal. And the Soul Siphon out just for the HP. The HP. Yeah, the HP. I was like, no, that's not what it is. No, wait, that is what it is. Got the kill on the bottom line. We pick up another Bounding Echoes almost certainly here. Lot of infuses for a lot of different triggers. If that infuse was on either of the others, I would take them. But it isn't. Single restoration detonation is like a single large heal to an individual unit. Sure, I'm never going to be too sad to have that in the deck. I might not be thrilled about it, but I won't be too sad about it either. I mean, I'm not going to dupe the Shattered Shell, right? If I'm going to socket anything into it, I'm not going to dupe that afterwards anyway. Because again, one unit wants to get as many slays as possible when you're doing that kind of thing. Let's look at the Divine Temple first. Plus 30 magic power as well as the True Stone. Neat. Extreme Stone almost certainly goes on a Glimmer, and then probably even the other one also goes on a Glimmer, to be entirely frank with you. Alright, let's... what Wurmkin unit we take might be based on what artifact we take. Also the possible inverse of that as well. But I also might find a unit in Concealed Caverns. It's theoretically possible. There is, oh, I don't know, a specific unit that might be there. Theoretically possible it is. Let's look at this first. Apply Reap 1 to enemy units. Yikes. Actually gonna full turn those down. Alright, Concealed Cavern. What do you got? I'll pay health. I mean, that could help us take Lost Luggage, if that's here. It is not. Hell's Banners versus Winged Steel. Winged Steel is more draw. Alright, Divine Temple. Let's go for the Extreme Stone on a Glimmer and the True Stone on the other Glimmer. Suddenly we have a decent amount of healing in the deck. So we're very, very, very much holding out for this Awoken Banner. Unfortunately, the Shattered Shell already has Multi-Strike, but should I try and still nestle it into an Animus of Speed if I see one? Probably not. We probably actually just want the base of this. So what do we want else? It's still possible that I put the Shard Soul Carver in it, right? The only problem is, after Daedalus the Professor, I have to choose my gem, and I would have to choose specifically space if I want to put the Shard Soul Carver into the Shattered Gem, right? Inspiring for its extra damage on that line. It's a good play. It's the health that the Shattered Shell wants. It's the Inspire trigger and the consistent ongoing health that it wants. Obviously, if it's on the same floor as a multi-striking, a unit that multi-strikes and gains candies, it's getting Inspire triggers consistently. It's good. It's just, do I really want to take capacity right now for a possibility that might not come to fruition? Maybe. Maybe. Theoretically possible. We still need to set up on the top floor here. Primary reason being these just need to lose some damage before they come to the top line, so the Spine Chief doesn't just fall in parts. I was about to say fall in half. Not sure that's how I would have wanted to express that. The problem is I also do want all of these to come to the top line quite badly. Cool. It's Bound and Echo. Inspire triggers don't matter at all for the Shattered Shell just yet, so I could throw Fractures up there, or I could just not do that instead, and that seems like a good idea too. Let's get you down here, taking up some of those bombs, despite the fact that we'll still lose you. It's a lot of damage they intend to do here. And unfortunately, very little we can do back. Can't chump block with that. We're in trouble now. Spine Chief just dies on this single turn. All 40 of its HP. They can go to the top line. These ones on the bottom I really don't want there, though. Just trying to keep a frontliner as long as I can. So we hit, we kill with the first hit. 10 damage will always kill the Shattered Shell. 10 damage will always kill the next one. It doesn't matter what we do here. Doesn't matter. If that frontliner dies, we die. Bugger. Alright, let's try it again. Double Bogfly, double Molten Imp, a single return soul. So if the patient awaits us at the end of this run. That was a good run. It's just we needed to get past that fight. Let's take a second to talk about that for a second, right? We needed to get past that fight because the second level of Infectinator doubles its HP. Next level, 120, right? So we were at a unique point where 40 HP being dealt in a single turn was unlikely. However, we had a 9x2 come to the top line on the same time as a 10x2 bomb. Just too much. Just too much. As soon as we finished that fight, we would have been fine. That's a real shame. That's okay, though, because it gives us an opportunity to... Okay, well, that's an Infectinator again. What's it's double Bogfly. I mean, look, they can stand behind the Spine Chief and do the thing that I mentioned prior. Oh, that's a lot of imps. Gosh. I'll take Infector. Not jazzed about it, though. Conscription Notice. When you first summon your champion, gain a random unit card with +10, +10, -1, and -1. We have nothing that benefits from spell damage in this deck. I'm going to take the Conscription Notice. It's going to be really good early on. We can definitely take this challenge. I don't even care what it is. It's so good early on. We can just guarantee these. Oh my god. That kills them, and then I'll fracture to kill it so I don't take the downside. You go there. Ooh, nice. He's Silophyte. Nice. He's Silophyte. Okay. Moltons go there too. And we fracture you for the kill. And we can play an Icy Silophyte on the top floor. Unfortunately, can't really return anything particularly important right now. But I guess I should still just get a card out of the deck and kill you. Green Simpling goes in the back line. We pop a Bogfly here as well. One Fracture gets that kill, and then I will kill the Imp so that I don't have to take the Ember Drain. And that top floor was already doing okay, but I could just put down 2 Queen Simplings. I can do that on the bottom floor as well. There you go, take some damage. How about you? This is what I'm talking about. We'll slow this down and just watch the Bogfly. We strike, Bogfly gets 30. We strike, Bogfly strikes for 35. We strike, Bogfly strikes for 40. It's kind of getting like an Alpha Fiend effect on strike gain 5. But it requires the entire floor to do it. Echo Infusion 100% of the time here. No debate on that. Ritual of Battle, Fortify, Molting Imp. So what we just saw in the previous run is we're going to need ways to support the HP of the Spine Chief. Thankfully, we did get an Echo Infusion. Thankfully, we have a lot of Imps to use for chump blocking. Do I also need armor? Maybe I want Ritual of Battle instead. So the Merchant of Steel is next to a Wurmkin Banner. It's a Divine Temple next to that. I'm very unlikely to do sockets this early. Although maybe I do. I guess it really depends on what I see in the Wurmkin Banner. Does Wurmkin have many multi-strikes? No. Does it have many synergies with Rage? Also no. Obviously, the multi-strike on the Spine Chief is a little bit of push in the direction in the Ritual Battle. The possibility that this is just going to have a value stone also pushes me a little bit towards it. And actually, I think that will clinch it for us there. Endless plus 2. Keeper of Echoes and a Kinhost Vessel. Keeper of Echoes. I do like Keeper of Echoes. +1/+1 to all friendly units is quite powerful. I can even stand behind the Spine Chief and get a bunch of buffs here. Let's have a look, by the way, at the essences in the deck. The essence of the Molting Imp is on summon, deal 15 damage to enemy units. So something I'm noting here is maybe I could just drop a Molten Imp into a Molten Imp and then add Endless to it. I think I will take the Keeper of Echoes here. Kinhost Vessel, Strike for Applying Reap. Let's take the Keeper of Vessels. So I could give Endless to a Molting Imp, put a Molting Imp inside of another Molting Imp, and then every round I have a on summon for 1 energy, deal 20 damage to the front enemies, to the full line of enemies rather. Sorry, front. But do I want that? Right? Do I want that is the key question. Maybe the answer is no. Value Stone. We got exactly the one I wanted. We'll put in Ritual of Battle. True Stone, literally no viable targets for. I could also just save the packs. I don't have to use them now. Because I am thinking of trying to get some Wurmkin combo right here. Maybe another Inspire trigger would be particularly good. I think I'll hold off. I think I will hold off. Unit drop. That's going to give us a lot of information. Unfortunately, this boss has the old sweep. That old sweep. Old man sweeping. That old. Spine Chief. Look, they don't need the buffs immediately. You can trigger as well. No, we're going top. Well, that's quite large. Now I want to build on the bottom again. Let's do it. You go there, you go there. We chump block as well as trigger an essence. Okay, inspire rather. I think that's it, actually. Take the back line down. We should be comfortable on our top floor. Turn Soul brings it back for 0 cost. Get him. Shecker. I was trying to say Shelter and Echo at the same time. Shelter, Echo Infusion, Bounding Echoes. Bounding Echoes is here for the first time? For the first time. I want so many Inspire triggers. So, having Bounding Echoes so that I can get more Inspire triggers for the sake of the Keeper of Echoes and such like that seems like a really good idea. As much as I do want the Echo Infusion, this is one of few ways to apply in the middle of a battle, at the absolute least. Infusion. Hornbreak. Infused Piercing. Deals 5 damage twice. This got upgraded? Yeah, I'll take it. I wouldn't have taken it were it not infused. Okay. Well, that's interesting. So we put a Keeper of Echoes in a Keeper of Echoes, or do we have 2 Keepers of Echoes on the same floor? Rail Beater has also been changed, by the way. Strike, apply melee weakness, rather 1 to the attacked unit instead of pushing them. The Demon Friend adds +30/+30 and +1 capacity, so it's like a large stone. Definitely take that Keeper of Echoes. Still don't know what I'm doing yet, though. With it, that is. They're definitely going to end up wanting multi-strike, I'll tell you that much. For free. Three capacity, 2 capacity, 2 capacity. So if I went double Space Gem, I could fit them all on the same floor as the Spine Sheath. But I think I'm better off just not using the Spine Sheaths. Like, it's synergistic, right? For the Spine Sheath to strike and gain candies, and then that triggers the Inspires. But it's far more synergistic for me just to inspire them naturally. Unless, of course, I'm socketing one and the other. And I may still be doing that, but it really depends on what this Wurmkin unit is, as to whether or not we think that's the better idea. Escoscans get +3 to their X value when played. Consume Crown is not an insignificant amount of damage. scaling to add. So we've got damage scaling from Keeper of Echoes. We've got damage scaling from, you know, the extra charged echoes on the floor. We've got damage scaling from Rage. The more sources of damage scaling we have, the less each of them individually needs to go off. The less we're individually reliant on one. Take the Consume Crown there, I think. That should cost 100% there. Is it possible I take a Wurmkin Banner and then I upgrade? Well, yeah, it's this is the one we look at first, definitely. Keeper of Echoes. See, now it's feeling like I just play 3 Keepers of Echoes on the same floor. It's also a first of kin here. 3 size. Costs 3, 30, 55 base stat line, is a kin unit. It etches. Etch again is when you consume a spell on that floor when a card is consumed. Gain +5 damage. I mean, I could put a Keeper of Echoes in a Keeper of Echoes and still have another Keeper of Echoes, right? No, because then what I would do is I would put the current Keeper of Echoes in the infused one, and then I would put them both in the Hellvent, right? At the same time. Obviously, one's socketed in the other. And then I have the effect of 3 Keepers of Echoes on the same floor, but it only costs me 2. And then I have to inspire a bunch on that floor. The thing is, we also, like, with the Queen's Implings being 1 size, being chump blockers, as well as being infused, we do want extra space on that floor. So no, we turn this down, and then we do the aforementioned plan. Unless this changes my mind. It may well change my mind. Interesting. So this is the copying event. Bounding Echoes would not be a bad 5 copy right now, I actually think. Just give every card in the entire deck guaranteed infused. We could do it on Ritual of Battle. If that was infused, I actually might have. Or if it was double stacked, or if it was another negative cost. It's good as is, do not get me wrong, but unless I get multi-strike, I'm not really projecting it. And then if it's not infused, sometimes I'm going to be better off just playing a bunch of infused cards. Which takes us back to the Bounding of Echoes. Especially if we should happen to get Bog Slime, if you consume on this floor, gain a candy. That would be really good with more Bounding Echoes. There's also the possibility we just put more copies of Echo Infusion to the deck. In fact, actually, that's it. We need health scaling, and we don't want to get it through armor. It's 5 copies of Echo Infusion. Because it's infused. Specifically because it's infused, we do that. Nice. Nice. I like this. 1 heck of a lot. Ooh. Yeah, double Keeper in the opening turn is really bad here, unfortunately. See, now I do want to set up a middle floor. Okay. Echo Infuse there. Getting all the pluses through. Ultimate for the full clear. Kills itself as well. Turn Soul brings back the Echo Infusion to do it again. And then I'll just Queen Simpling for a chump. Am I okay chump blocking with that on this floor? Yeah, I think I am. What are the chances I draw the other Molten this turn? 1. The other chances for the Molten this turn are 1. Sorry, I forgot about that. Well, I can still do that. We just destroy that myself and then put the Molten down. Just chump things. And get as many Inspire trees out there as possible. Gotta give the backline some HP because the boss has thorns again. Consume Crowns is doing real work on that Animus. Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Alright, offer me that's something that makes me change my mind. Alloy of the Ancients. Infuse, consume, apply armor 25. I mean, if I'm taking nothing else, I'm definitely taking that. Symphony of the Soul. Extract 5. Double buffs and armor on a unit. So the problem is the +1/+1, not a buff. That is a stat change. It is not a buff. Things like, also multi-strike, not a buff. Multi-strike's not a buff, right? The keywords are a little bit wonky sometimes. I just remember a history of exceptions and exceptions and exceptions. So it makes it a bit hard for me to recognize which one this actually is at the moment. You know, one thing we need is more energy. Okay, as soon as I get to the top of the deck and I see all the zero cost, maybe not. Both Keepers of Echoes on the first turn is dangerous. We would need more energy. Yeah, so the buffs would be things like regen, rage, etc. Sure. Take the Alloy of the Ancients. Bog Chrysalis, Kinhost Carapace, and a Kinhost Vessel. Honestly, putting a Bog Chrysalis behind 2 Keepers of Echoes doesn't sound like an awful idea. Still anti-synergistic with that whole imp plan, though. Fine. I have to take Fel's Remorse here. No real say in that, unfortunately. Ooh, Spell Chain. When we play something once, we get to play it again. Got a Purge on it. I mean, Echo Infusion is a really good target for it. But I really wish I'd done that before the whole rest of everything. Alright, Divine Temple. Let's engage this pact. Sacrifice this Keeper of Echoes into the other Keeper of Echoes. Double Keeper of Echoes. Is Twinstone worth the 15 right now? It might not be worth that 15. Given the density of the effects that I was intending to possibly even spell chain there. Then we dupe you. I'd like to find an Ascend or Descend. Unfortunately, the Ascends are much harder to find now that we are no longer finding commons. Nice cold Kalia right there. Let's sack some units. I don't really want you to get armor 10 right now. Seems like that'll feel bad for us, but at the same rate, that cool marksman in the backline needs to take some damage. Look at all those Echo Infusions. This is such a good combo with this. Look, so I'm giving plus 10 health to the frontline unit, but I'm also giving +3/+3 to everyone on the board. Unfortunately, my damage is not scaling very high yet. It's a slow scale. It's definitely a slow scale. Don't let anyone tell you I ever thought otherwise. They'd be lying to you. Always knew this was going to be the story of how it started out. I just hope it's not the story of how it ends. We can't let many more of those go to the top. Oh my god, thank heck for you. Oh, your Hornbreak, your absolutely dire necessity right there. Oh, that doesn't look like it's saving us. The cool marksman in the backline still needs to die. Which will buff the front line. Well, no, but you take more damage. Keeps us alive for now. You've got 89. Right? And anytime I cast a spell on this floor, I get +6 damage. And currently against you, I mean, you got Frostbite 2 as well. I don't know where that came from. Oh, Corcalio, of course. You got Frostbite 2. Okay, so you've got 89, but you actually have 87 in effective damage that we have to be able to deal to you. I can cast the Echo Infusion. Can I cast Bounding Echoes? 99 versus 102, 97 versus 102, 108 versus 107. I believe Bounding Echoes is fine right now. And it even protects us a lot because the front line takes one of the 15s from the Quill Marksman. One of the reasons they really want multi-strike is because multi-strike will scale their damage 2 times. It's the biggest reason they want it. Yeah, I just needed to be able to project damage to kill the cool marksmans. Other than that, we should be fine on the next floor. Our stats are big. A Return Soul that is infused gets us another card back that is also infused. It's good Inspire triggers right there. Branding Right. I don't think I need that. Or maybe even want that. I guess it's okay for the Spine Chief if we intend to keep the Spine Chief. No, the Echo Infusion's already fulfilling this without... Yeah, no, this is just a way less powerful Echo Infusion for us right now. Way higher cost. Okay, so dupe and removals. I would probably dupe Horned Echo. There's not that many things I want to dupe right now. I do want the health from the pyre, but other than that, I want everything on the pyre, the magic remains over here. So this is probably our choice. Plus 10 magic power on the Hornbreak seems good. -1 costing on, sure, Ally of the Ancients, and then I'll take a reroll. Consume removal. Okay, we'll lower its cost. And then another plus 10 on the Hornbreak. I might also buy some removals here. Crumbs! I really should have come here first. A damage effect, a heal effect, a buff effect. We're most interested in buff. Ascend. Okay, so we can try and ascend the Spine Chief behind the other floor. Love that. An effect that increases card draw, or an effect that increases money card draw. Let's take the A all day magic. Gain 10. Ascend the unit. Draw +1 next turn. Great. Great. Absolutely incredible. I mean, it's not like I could have double stacked it at all. So what would I have done? I couldn't have given a holdover. I could take more money there, but I think we need to not take too many pack shards. We've got a merchant and trinkets in the next area, so I don't want to spend too much. Self-made harpy. Don't want to spend too much money here. Self-made harpy is really big. The thing is, if anything gets past our kill floor, we're already dead to Pyre health, right? So I might as well let everything heal, because I still only do my damage on that one floor. This is a problem. This is just, it just is a problem for us right now. I think what I need to do is put a Keeper of Echoes in the Spine Chief here, and then I look for the other Keeper of Echoes, try and keep it alive on this line, and then send it up. Or maybe this Keeper of Echoes goes on this line and then gets the Alloy of Ancients. The reason for that specifically... is because then this has armor, so it's better living against these. You could even get the health from all the Echo Infusions, so it has longer for me to draw the A all day magic. I'm only winning if I get that, so if that's the only way I win, that's the way I play. And then we'll just put a lady in the of the house in front. Take all my hits for me for a while, thank you. There's the next Keeper of Echoes. Thankfully, you can go on top now. We can fracture your... So I'll send out another fracture to you. This is the problem. This Clipped Guardian. It's very hard for us to scale before that Clipped Guardian enough to take out that Clipped Guardian. Okay, so we're getting some units down. I think I just need the stats on the top line, so Echo Infusions happen up here now. I didn't get the A all day magic. Do I now lose? No, not yet. This next line is also scary though. Probably should have put that behind just so it actually propagated its damage forward. Come on. Oh my god. Really? So we have 36 cards in the deck. We've drawn through 25 of them. We still haven't seen the All Day Magic, the card that I need. which I believe does just now mean I lose. And let's return soul, try and get more Inspire triggers on this floor when we can. We can get all except for the back two down here. That floor's fine, don't get me wrong. Obviously, having the ability to play Molten on the top floor would have helped. But if we drew two Keepers of Echoes on the same turn and we didn't have the ability to play both of them, we would have had to wait a whole cycle. And we can see right now what waiting a whole cycle to actually get them on the same floor has to do to us. The problem is, if I did put them on the same floor, we definitely would have lost ages ago. Long time ago. I needed to get all three of them on the same floor, and that needed to be accomplished using Yay All Day Magic there. For us to have enough scaling, at least. That's a real shame. This run was going places. This run was going places quite quickly. And now it's going off the rails pretty quickly as well. $12 HP would have carried us through that. Dang. Well, let's go to and hold on the run summary. As I say, my name has been Rhapsody. The name of the game has been Monster Train: The Last Divinity. So I mentioned exactly the reasons for what occurred right there. The thing is, this is very powerful. This would have scaled quite well into the very late game, right? For The Last Divinity and things like that. And a lot of what I'm doing recently is, as I said in a couple episodes prior, trying to make sure that I have the scaling for The Last Divinity. I will say, I have been performing significantly better on stream than I have been in the, this episode with 2 losses, in the last episode, certainly as well. There is a stream series that is currently going up here on YouTube as well. They're the ones with a different thumbnail and without any episode number, as well as the thumbnail typically has like a kind of hint towards what's occurring in the run. They're very much highlight clips. They're typically wins, although there may be a loss or two in there that are particularly interesting in some way. But if you are looking for what happens when things like this work, that's what I would recommend for the moment. At least until I can tide it over here in the main YouTube series. But for the moment, I accidentally clicked quit. For the moment, my name is Rhapsody, the name of the game. Monster Train: The Last Divinity. Hopefully you've been enjoying yourselves. There's a playlist in the description down below with all my concepts of the game, past, present, and future. Again, early on in series is very important if you do like the videos to click like, because it helps a lot for the stability of the thing that I get to do. Hopefully you've been enjoying yourselves, and hopefully we'll see you next time.